Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's go over the stimulus news quickly. We had Biden have a pretty big press conference on Friday, and he addressed a reporter just answering what he was doing during the last few months as many, thousands, millions of people suffered in America.
Several weeks to actually work with Democrats and Republicans, speaking to congressional leaders to get them to agree on a stimulus package. And what do you say to people like Senator Sanders on the left flank of your party who have come out against this stimulus program already? They have said that this $900 billion deal is not good enough.
Just remember, as a backdrop, we had House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer of New York. They recently backed a bipartisan $900 billion relief plan as talks, with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. So this was basically floated around on Friday, and reporters asking Biden, what do they think of the measures? And Biden, on Friday, he also said another round of coronavirus stimulus checks may still be in play. And he said that it would be better if the $1,200 direct check was given in the relief package. Let's see what he says, and let's react to it.
Well, it would be kind of stupid for me to tell you what I did, wouldn't it? Because it'd be kind of hard to do it again. I told you all that I was confident we'd get a bipartisan agreement on this stuff. And I think we will, not just on this package, but I think beyond. And the last thing I'm going to do is tell you strategically how I go about this. I remember I used to get asked the same thing when I was putting together significant deals between Democrats and Republicans when I was a senator and vice president. It's just not a very smart thing. It's like me asking you, tell me how you get your sources and how'd you get those sources you got in order to get that story. It would be ridiculous for you to tell me or your colleagues how you did it. All I can say is I'm confident there are a sufficient number of Democrats and Republicans in the United States Senate, along with significant votes coming out of the House of Representatives, to put together a serious package that will keep us from going off the edge here, provide the kind of resources that are needed immediately. It's not going to satisfy everybody, but the option is, if you insist on everything.
Okay, interesting strategy here. So let me know what you think of what Biden just said. But he's basically saying, I don't want to divulge or let you know my strategy. It would be stupid if I told you how I'm going to get this done. Well, he's saying that he's going to be able to get a, bipartisan work together with both groups to get something done. He's indicated that it will be big. So let's see. Let me know what you think, if he can get anything done, by the end of the new year. I personally don't think so, because remember, we have the December 11th spending. There could potentially be another lockdown in terms of spending. We have to decide on the budget spending that will go away in December 11th. And right now, there's still chattering about the spending packages first and then the stimulus or bailout second. So our government funding will, end again on December 11th, and there could be potentially another government shutdown. And secondly, I think it will be up to Biden to kind of work together with the two parties to really get something done. And he's someone who has years and years and years of experience, so maybe he can. But personally, I think it will be January or February until some type of material, really good stimulus package will be sent. So he's kind of doing this in, playing a lot of optics in his opinion and trying to, it's a pretty clever move. Let me know what you think of what he just said on it. Let's summarize the rest of the video.
We're likely to get nothing on both sides. And so I've been relatively good at negotiating over my career because I never, number one, reveal something somebody doesn't want me to in the deal, and number two, because I always keep my word.
Yes.
There are a number of...
So he's going back again, going back to his history, saying he was a really good deal maker in, 40 years in Washington, and he hasn't really revealed on what he did previously. So another clip that I want to react to and get your opinion on is on CNBC. Rick Santelli. He's a reporter, generally comments on the fixed income market. But on Friday, he had a very kind of emotional reaction to some of the restaurant restrictions that are coming down in California and the United States and how small businesses are suffering. So it was kind of comical. He's known for having these kind of blow-ups in financial crisis on these interviews. So let's take a look. Let me know what you think. We'll react to it.
For the hypocrisy which exists. It's the fact that I think many of these governors are intelligent people and they love their families, which they've taken out into restaurants. Therefore, there is actually and should be an ongoing debate as to, why a parking lot for a big box store like by my house is jam-packed. Not one parking spot open. Why are those people any safer than a restaurant with plexiglass? I just don't get it. And I think there's a million of these questions that could be asked, and I think it's really sad that when we look at the service sector and all the discussions we've had about job losses, that particular dynamic isn't studied more, isn't worked more. We don't put more people in the room and try to figure out ways so that these service sector employees and employers could all come back in a safer way. You can't tell me that shutting down, which is the easiest answer, is necessarily the only answer.
Yeah, so he's saying that, shutting down the economy is kind of the easy way out. If we all just stay inside our house and do nothing, the coronavirus could potentially go away, but it's going to really hurt our economy. So we kind of need to think of more. The government needs to be more proactive, whether that be sending stimulus checks, making some very innovative legislation to help those who are really in need. I think that's what he's saying, but he's had some very animated responses. Comment, let me know below what you think of his response. Yeah, so as he alluded to in the video, we had unemployment numbers come out on Friday, and they vastly kind of underperformed. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, so we had unemployment numbers on Friday. Generally they were not as what we expected. There was about in the month of November, there was 250,000, I think, jobs created, and they expected around 400,000. The main kind of takeaways that I found from the jobs report was that, first of all, unemployment kind of fell for the wrong reasons. We had many discouraged and many people just stopped looking for work. And second, a lot of the job losses, the unemployment rate ticked up because a lot of the job losses were permanent. In the last few months, we had massive job layoffs from Disney. We saw them furlough and fire almost 40,000 employees. Retail, airlines have laid off and furloughed, more thousands of people. So, that kind of leads to the third part, where retail and travel hospitality are really suffering. And I think that suffering, unfortunately, is going to persist into 2021 and beyond. But I guess a little bit of silver lining in the jobs report was that the housing market was still strong. There's been, a big exodus of jobs. I mean, people relocating to suburbs. So there's been a lot of new house construction. So materials and construction jobs have still been increasing. So that's kind of the one good takeaway, at least, that we can take away from the unemployment rate on Friday. And just remember, as I talked about before, we have basically Congress eyeing, a 1 week spending bill to avert shutdown again. It's pretty ridiculous because I remember, if you've been on this channel for a while, we were covering this in the summer about, the Congress passing a short-term funding bill again to avoid the stopgap. But the spending authority, again, is expected to expire December 11th. And lawmakers are going to be rushing again to find and pass through a spending bill to cover up to 2021. So keep an eye on the next week as well. That'll give a good indicator if a stimulus bill can even be passed in December or January. So let's go over the COVID numbers also. So it was really shocking yesterday. We had a huge spike, over 200,000. But I remember in the summer we were saying that we could have numbers in the 300, 400, 500,000, up to next year. So we see the 7-day average ticking up again. We had cases 215,000. So that's a huge amount. And I just wanted to go over one more graph. This is more on economics, but we had the velocity of money from the basically economy and jobs report. We found that the M2 growth is up 25% year over year. So, but the economy hasn't really grown. So that means the velocity of money is increasing. So what does it mean, the velocity of money? So that basically means, how fast transactions are occurring in the economy. So high velocity typically means there's a lot of, buying and selling of goods and money moving around. So a high velocity indicates a high degree of inflation. So we've seen kind of inflation, or the price for normal goods, in a basket defined by the economists as generally falling for the last 10 years. But there's been kind of an uptick, a really large uptick in the last quarter. And I don't think like inflation will be a huge problem given what's going on in the economy, but people will start maybe being more aware of it going forward. So that potentially might move monetary policy into more kind of trends to prevent inflation. So we'll see what's going on, this week. I think you're caught up to date on the stimulus and economic and fiscal policy and monetary policy. I'll keep doing updates on this periodically when I think that there's good information. But thanks for visiting the channel. That's it for today, and please hit subscribe. See you next time. So that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching and visiting the channel. Please subscribe and like the video. And if you could do me a huge favor and let your family and friends know about the channel, that would be awesome. See you next time. Bye.